Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Ancient Fairy Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Duelist Advance. This deck is definitely one of the most consistently updated decks I've had in the last couple months, just with all the recent support that we've gotten, including from the Alliance Insight Booster Pack, where we got Ancient Fairy Life Dragon and all the retrains for the deck, and then from the Monster Mayhem Booster Set, where we got more additional Light Beast Fairy support. And now with Duelist Advance, we got that final wave of support. So lined up perfectly for this deck, which means multiple updates for the deck with all the new support. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. Since the Alliance Insight Booster Set, we've been running 3 copies of Regulus, the Fairy Beast. With this card, if it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand. And during the main phase, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower light monster, beast, plant, or fairy from your hand in defense. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 field spell in your graveyard, place on the bottom of the deck, and draw 1 card. So it makes use of the recycle power for our field spells that we run in the deck, on top of being able to set up some of our other monsters, which can work with setting up our synchro plays, depending on the monster that we wish to summon out as well. So Regulus is definitely a 3-of card, just for its overall search power. A definite great starter to run in the deck. Our new monster from Duelist Advance is our Yugioh Mitsune no Tamayura. If you control level 4 or lower light beast, plant, or fairy monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. A monster that was synchro summoned using this card gains these effects. It gains 500 defense, and your opponent cannot target this defense card with card effects. And you can only use each of the following effects of Yugioh Mitsune no Tamayura once per turn. But being able to just have that option to special summon this card out gives us the easy play of using both of these monsters for the synchro summon of our Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then giving it the additional defense boost and protection against our opponent's cards. So one of the last pieces we needed for the deck, but very useful that we finally have this card to use in the deck. The last of our 3-ofs are 3 copies of our Yugioh Noble Knight of the Forest. If it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn from your deck to your hand, or a Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn's on your field or graveyard. You can draw 1 card instead. You can only use this effect of Yugioh once per turn. And while cards in the field zone, your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. And when this card is destroyed by battle, you can make that monster destroyed, lose 500 attack, making it all the easier for our Ancient Fairy Dragon to swing over that monster, but also just draw power and being able to search out our other field spell that we run in the deck for more and more consistency with the use of our light beast monsters in the deck also. And we're also running 2 copies of Bat the Forest Ninja, the tuner lineup, which can also work very, very well with our Yugioh Noble Knight of the Forest. If a face-up card is in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Bat the Forest Ninja once per turn this way. And if it's normal or special summon and Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn is in your field or graveyard, you can add 1 light beast monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Bat the Forest Ninja once per turn. So we can also use Bat for search power, being able to use this card to grab Regulus, our Yugioh Mitsune Tamayura, or Yugioh, you name it, it has search power to grab any of the monsters we choose for this card. And we also have a new Link monster. So if we have the level 7 engine set up, we can also use our light beast monsters to then go for our Link 2 plays, being the Yugioh Mitsune no Onari for that summon as well. The lower numbers include the 1 copy of our Karibon the Fairy Spirit, the 1 Spore the Fairy Seed, the 1 original Karibon as well. Additional parts of the engine, Karibon having more of the life point gain. If you didn't want to run the original Karibon, you can always bump up Karibon Fairy Spirit or Spore the Fairy Spirit for added spots in the deck as well. Just having the plant and fairy targets as well for multiple special summons with Regulus also, and then being able to, if Spore is special summon, to count the number of monsters you control and have this card gain up to that many levels. The additional boost as well, and if you control Ancient Fairy Dragon or a light monster and this card's in your graveyard, being able to special summon it, but then you're locked into special summoning for synchro play, so you can't go into your Link play, but then you can use the added special summon with each one of these monsters depending on the situation also. Now another card that I've been testing out and enjoying in the deck to run and for that spot And those cards are the 1 copy of Destrudo and the 1 copy of Malefic Stardust Dragon. I've been really liking both of these cards in the deck. You have the easy level 7 Synchro setup with Destrudo, and then Malefic Stardust Dragon, by just being able to banish a Stardust Dragon, gives you a special summon of a 2500 attack point monster on the field, and then also protection for your face-up field spells also, which is pretty important in the deck when not implementing Ancient Fairy Dragon's own card effect. If you want to run one or the other, you can go to Malefic and then to Destrudo, depending on what you want, or go for the 1-in-1 like I'm running in the deck. And then the rest of the main deck monsters just being the hand traps of 2 Ash Blossom, the 2 Effect Veiler, and the 2 Droll and Lockbird. Just the lineup that I chose to go with in the deck. If you have another hand trap lineup that you like to go for, you can mix and match however you want in this specific spot here. For the spells, running 3 copies of the field spell, World of Spirits. When it's activated, you can add 1 monster that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand. You go and activate one of the following effects while you control this card and a level 7 Light Fairy Dragon monster or higher. Each time a monster is special summoned in attack position, change it to defense. And once per turn during the end phase, destroy all attack position monsters on each player's field. You go and activate 1 World of Spirits per turn, but still, that makes use of our boss monster, Ancient Fairy Life Dragon, to then be able to have our monsters attack while in defense. So it takes away from our opponent being able to use any of their link monsters. And also 2 copies of Fairy Tale Prologue, Journey's Dawn. Any battle damage a player takes is halved. If you control a Light Beast monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro monster, you can draw 1 card. You go and use this effect of Fairy Tale's Prologue, Journey's Dawn once per turn, and during your standby phase, you can send this card from the field zone to the graveyard to place 1 field spell from your hand or deck face up in your field spell zone, except for Fairy Tale Prologue, Journey's Dawn. So then you can use this card for draw power or the added setup with this card to then go into World of Spirits, running both of the variants because they work with Wonko and Regulus, both as additional searches also. And then 2 copies of Spiritual Forest, a continuous spell each turn. The first face up face beast warrior or beast or plant monster you control will be destroyed by battle, is not destroyed. So extra protection for our go-to Synchro Dragon that we run in the deck, including some of our other added options as well, including the new Beast Link lineup and some of the other cards as well in the main deck to use. The 1 copy of Monster Reborn, along with the 1 Terraforming, the 1 Pot of Prosperity, the 1 Crossout Designator, the 1 Call by the Grave, and the 1 Triple Tactics Talent for all of the 1-of spells that we run in the deck also, with our traps being 1 Eternal Sunshine. Monsters you control gain 500 defense for each Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mentions it that you control. And once per turn, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, its attack and defense become halved. Also, its effects are negated. You can use this effect of Eternal Sunshine a number of times to return up to the number of Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mentions it that you control. So the added pressure of being able to weaken your opponent's monsters as well. So just more and more thanks to this card, and then your defense monsters being able to just swing over your opponent's cards. The 3 copies also of Infinite Impermanence to finish off the main deck cards, including the traps for this position. For the extra deck, we're running 2 copies of Ancient Fairy Life Dragon. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can draw 1 card, or if World of Spirits is on the field, add 1 Light Monster, Beast, Plant, or Fairy, or 1 Eternal Sunshine, which is the trap, from your deck to your hand instead. You can use this effect of Ancient Fairy Life Dragon once per turn, and your Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mention it while in attack position in face-up defense apply their defense for damage calc. So with this card, you have the added power of your Ancient Fairy Dragon and monsters that mentioned it being able to then use that play, including this card just to be able to swing into defense position monsters of your opponents or their attack position monsters, and then be able to protect your own monsters from being destroyed by the World of Spirits field spell. Also, 3 additional copies of the Ancient Fairy Dragon for the added spot here. You have the added special summon power, and then the destruction of field spells, as well as your opponents, to gain life points with this card, then adding a field spell with a different name of the destroy card, so then being able to swap back and forth between the 2 that we run, thanks to this easy-to-make level 7 Synchro in the deck. The 1 Black Rose Dragon, along with the 1 FA Dawn Dragster, the 1 Ancient Pixie Dragon, along with the 1 Stardust Dragon for the send cost for Malefic Stardust Dragon, the 1 Psyframe Lord Omega, and the 1 Crystal Wing to finish off all of the synchro monsters that we run in the deck. For our Link monsters, running 2 copies of the new Ukonomitsune no Onari. Your opponent cannot target cards in the field zone with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Ukonomitsune no Onari once per turn. If this card's Link summon, you can target 1 quick play spell in your graveyard, set it. If this card is destroyed, for each card in the field zone, you can apply one of these effects. If both, apply them in sequence. Destroy 1 card your opponent controls, or inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. So burn damage on top of the added protection for your field spells that Malefic Stardust Dragon can also provide. We don't have too many quick play options in the graveyard, but we have some to be able to recycle, which can come in handy depending on the ones that we use with this card. And then lastly, the 1 SP Little Knight, and then the only Xyz monster that we run being the 1 Sky Crisis to overlay over additional monsters if our opponent used the extra deck a good number of times during their previous turn. And then as for some of the go-to plays, there's a lot of back and forth with a lot of these cards. We can summon out Regulus, being able to add a spell or trap that mentions Ancient Fairy Dragon with this card, and then be able to search out World of Spirits, activate this. This will give us an additional monster that has Ancient Fairy Dragon from your deck to your hand. So then from there, we can grab one of our one-ofs that we have in the deck also, being Spore, the Fairy Seed, with this card, and then being able to have the additional special summon of Regulus as well from our hand and defense. We can use it to then grab Spore off of this play. If we have Ukonomitsune no Tamayura in our hand and we control a level 4 lower light beast monster, we can special summon this card for the play. Go for our level 7 synchro play using the 2 monsters, and then summon out our Ancient Fairy Dragon. Then having the Spore we summoned off of Regulus be used to then summon out our Ancient Fairy Life Dragon as well. And since World of Spirits is already on the field, we can use this card to add our Eternal Sunshine as well, which the additional plays that can come in handy with all this is if we have, let's say, our Bat the Forest Ninja, because then we can have the search for this card and then be able to special summon it out as an additional play, and then add our Fairy Tale Prologue off of this search for that additional summon. It's all coming down to if we have these additional monsters in our hand, because what we can do is ideally get our Ancient Fairy Life Dragon and then the additional monsters that we set up, being able to use the Spore for the added synchro play on top of the additional setup for our monsters. Since we have Spore as that play, we can go for the additional play as mentioned before, using our Ukonomitsune no Tamayura and our Regulus to go for that play there, summoning out our Ancient Fairy Dragon, then being able to use the Spore and the Bat the Forest Ninja for a Link 2 play to summon out our no Onari, but then we can go for the additional Spore play for this card, and this card's in our graveyard, and if we control Ancient Fairy Dragon, to summon it back onto the field using its own card effect, and then go for the Ancient Fairy Life Dragon, and then have the Ukonomitsune no Onari play to protect our field spell from the opponent as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. Like I said, plenty of updates done to the Ancient Fairy Dragon deck, but we've just had so much new support that I always like updating it as one of the more fun decks for you all to see with the changes made. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.